have no idea.
Maybe you know Mr. Rogers, Barry? No. Right. So I think we're live now. So as you guys come on in, I'm going to start.
Oh, yeah, of course. I know Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was a Sesame Street kid, so.
Oh, yeah. So was my kid.
Yeah. That's what I grew up with and helped me learn English. Yeah, I started watching that when I was 4.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think a lot of kids learned English from that show, hey?
Yeah, I think so. It was definitely a great way for me to, learn my ABCs and learn small words, my first little bits here and there.
Yeah. Good. All right. So as you guys come in, I'm going to jabber a little bit about mindfulness. Some of you, I've mentioned I'm doing this course in resilience, and I'm just going to read you a little bit that came up in one of the research studies. Mindfulness is a flexible and open cognitive state. It's the opposite of mindlessness, which is a state of rigidity. So when we're not mindful, our bodies tend to get into fight or flight because it's not connected. So when one is mindful, they're involved in active engagement, along with an acceptance and the exploration of one's personal and present experience. Mindfulness involves drawing novel distinctions about the situation and the environment. So novel distinctions about the situation environment means that you're coming into it with just this kind of beginner's mind and a set of eyes that aren't going into habitual thought patterns. That's the idea. And I wanted to speak a bit to that because a lot of what, the research is all the research, but in the moment, we want to try and access that place. And some of you may have noticed that sometimes it's easier than others, right? And for everybody, for myself included, it's not like I just go, oh, I'm going to be mindful and I slide into this Zen place, because every day we're, flooded with new thoughts, new emotions, new feelings, and new body sensations. And so one of the things that I think is really helpful to think about is that you're using mindfulness to create this triangle where awareness is in the middle, and on the top of the triangle is your thoughts. Maybe on this side over here is your emotions, and over here is your physical sensations. And so your awareness is there, and the whole thing that I've just been learning is that, first of all, it's not going to come right away. And like anything, you're learning something new, so it takes practice, and we've talked about that. But the key here is actually, it doesn't take as much practice as you think. So I did the math, and in the latest studies that are research studies that are kind of out of Johns Hopkins and some of these other places that are looking at mindfulness, the actual minimum is, thank you, the minimum is 100 minutes. So you go, oh, that's actually long. And then I was doing the math, and we've been meeting since April or so. And if you guys have been consistent every Wednesday, you've done over 240 minutes already. So what happens after you do 100 minutes? Well, the brain starts to change, and you start to also, these capacities of this higher order executive function thinking start to become attractive and really pleasurable to your brain and your nervous system. And so that creates this generative experience. So over time, it'll get easier, and your body and your mind like it. And so you'll be naturally kind of habituated and drawn in to doing the grounding, just coming into present time, releasing all the different thoughts for just the few moments that you're doing it. So that's the idea. So what are life affirming attitudes, and what are the attitudes we want to bring to mindfulness? And the really big one, they're all really kind of important, but the very most important one, I feel for myself anyway, and I think this is true for many of us, is the attitude of non-judgment. So what is judgment? Well, judgment is when our brain goes into this is that, um, black or white, I see a flower, I don't smell it. That kind of mind, or I see this person, why is she wearing that? Or more importantly, the judgment goes internal, oh, I can't do this. Oh, this hurts. Oh, I can't get out of this, and the judgments start to just become this kind of cascade, if you will. And so the more we do that, the less connected we are with our bodies and our breath and our capacity to be in that place of awareness that's observing this. We actually get kind of drawn into the story, into the emotion, and often the body memory of whatever that emotion or that particular situation might be. And judgment is a rigid state, so we're already rigidifying the body. So the first thing you want to remember is patience. And patience is one of those beautiful virtues that God bless, all of us in our youth. We don't have a lot of, and we usually develop over time. But it doesn't mean you can't develop it. And the big thing about mindfulness that all the research is saying is actually we all can develop mindfulness. So it's not a, oh, I have to have these special talents or abilities. So patience is this place where you look at the fact that the mind has a mind of its own often, and it's going to kind of go off, and thoughts are sometimes distracting and or they can be even disturbing. So what we want to do is really bring that attitude of loving kindness to it. So the attitude of loving kindness also fits in really well with the beginner mind, because maybe we're not loving kind to ourselves all the time, and the beginner mind is allowing us to go, oh, well, maybe this is a new place for me to be. Oh, this thought's okay. Oh, I'm just observing. So I hope that helps. The other piece that is, the life affirming attitude is trust, and really bringing that sense of, I'll just trust myself here, that I actually know what I'm doing. And of course, trust comes when we're not striving. So in mindfulness, I like to say that I'm not, watching my breath. I'm actually being my breath. So at a certain point in time, you'll shift from kind of watching and doing the kind of mind's, analysis and judgment to actually just feeling your breath. And the more you start to feel the sensation of your breath, the more you'll start to become um, absorbed in the novelness of this new breath and this moment and this fresh one that's coming in. So keep that in mind, that you want to think of the beginner mind as being trusting, non-judgmental, and patient. And and the other really important thing, I mentioned that there was 100 minutes that they said that in this one research study, but now the latest studies come out, and it's actually as short as 50 minutes. So practicing something, daily, or even a minimum of that long, will give you this kind of shift in your nervous system that you can start to access more easily. So holding that in mind and knowing that it doesn't need to be a struggle, that it could be effortless, your mindfulness. What might be a struggle is just getting out of the judging mind, but that's a struggle for all of us. And so recognize it just as a struggle, not as anything wrong, not as anything right. It just is. All right. So with all that being said, why don't you just take your hands for a minute and let them rub together nice and briskly, generate a little bit of blood flow, and put your your right hand behind on your occiput, right at the sort of the base of the skull, and your left hand on your forehead. Close your eyes, and if you can stay stable with that, just remain there for a moment with just light pressure, and just allow yourself to kind of affirm, I trust this information lands with what I need to learn now. Good. And then allowing yourself to release that and bring your arms beside you. And we'll just do a tipping the left ear toward the left shoulder. Breathe in deep and allow any tension that may exist between the shoulder and the ear on the right to just relax as your left ear kind of just stretches down toward the left shoulder. Breathing in, nice full rich breath to your belly. And if you want, you can really stretch out the right arm away from the right shoulder to deepen that release. And then inhale, come on back to midline. Nice and slowly. And then take it over to the opposite side, allowing, in this case, the right ear more toward the right shoulder. Remember, if you can, not to let yourself lean forward. So as much as you're able to stay upright in your spine. And I need to hook my arms to do that because my left side is quite weak. Using your breath to invite relaxation. And stretching out the left arm if that feels like something that would be good for you right now. Good. And then relax and take it back down. Coming back into your midline on your time. And then allowing the shoulders to shrug up towards the ears. Inhale. Exhale, press the upper arm bones back and relax the shoulders down. And we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale. You can tuck the chin, press the upper arm bones back. Relax the shoulders and arms down. And last one. Inhale. Invite that inhale in, and then as you exhale, invite relaxation. Melt the shoulders. Draw them down the back body. Good. And then find your dignified position, ensuring that you're relaxed and yet still alert. So attention without tension. And then bring your awareness into your inner landscape. And let's repeat, just taking 3 full rich breaths to start off. Effortless breathing, and yet full and attentive to the movement of the breath. And at the end of that last exhale, softening your attention around the breathing and allowing yourself to let the breath return to its natural rhythm. And just noticing that natural rhythm. Perhaps it feels quite quiet and very subtle to you, which is good. The more our consciousness doesn't get sidetracked, the more we can allow the breathing to become a deeper kind of unconscious rhythm. And then using your inner eye in the middle of that triangle, that awareness eye, just noticing your thoughts up in the upper part of the triangle. Notice your emotions out on one side of the triangle, and notice your body sensations. And allow yourself, as you're noticing, to adopt the attitude of loving kindness, non-judgmental, present time, patient awareness. And just stay with that for a moment, just noticing the natural sensations of your breath with those 4 attitudes: non-judgment, loving kindness, patience, and trust. And just give it into yourself like that. The sensations of the breath will become louder than the mind as you allow yourself to use the breath slightly to shape the mind, calming it, bringing it out of any striving, bringing it out of any need, and particularly out of any judgment. This ability to develop your higher order thinking, where you can discern your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations as something that's occurring rather than who I am and what I am. This discernment will really serve you in learning how to cope with all that's going on in our world right now. And as you're allowing that awareness to be just simply focused on the breathing and on the 4 states of mind: non-judgmentality, trust, patience, and non-striving. See if you can allow your body sensations of the breath to feed you information. Do you notice your breathing rhythm? Do you notice the temperature of the breath? Can you feel the sensation of the breath as you draw it in through the nasal cavity and as it passes particularly at the back of the throat toward the lungs? And do you feel the belly rise and fall with the inhale and the exhale? And tuning in. When the mind's busy and distracted, so too is our body and our senses. A simple place of being the breath, letting yourself be the movement of your breath with your awareness. Relaxing on each exhale. So there's the invitation in every new novel moment to see yourself in a new place, to be in a new place, and to release habitual places that may not serve you. And even bringing awareness to that is the way that we shift it. The way we remind ourselves that I'm not my thoughts. And as we allow ourselves to be present in this moment, give yourself the opportunity to feel your other body sensations, particularly the ones that are associated with your senses. So noticing on each exhale as you relax the touch of your body, the weight of your body, the presence of your body, the gravity. And then shifting your awareness to the sounds, noticing the sounds around you, perhaps external to the building. And stretch your power of awareness to the farthest thought way out there, maybe on the street, or if you're lucky to be in a forest, the birds. And then bring your aperture of awareness back in, and focus again on the sounds close to you. And do that again. Stretch your awareness way out beyond your space, your physical space. Perhaps you hear things off of my room. There's a garbage truck, my dog snoring, and then bringing your awareness back in to your inner landscape. And just notice if you notice the sound of your own breath. And again, that's a real affirming thing. It builds trust again within your being. And then use your sense of inner eye to notice your light flickering behind the closed eyelids. And the inner eye, although it's not seeing things, can see some things, particularly the light on the back of the eyelids. Just noticing that. Perhaps you notice sometimes shapes or colors there. This is where often people who are good visualizers can recreate their world or create their world. They see something and then they create it into the reality. And then relaxing that and feeling into the inner mouth and your tongue and the inside of your cheeks and noticing the taste. Relaxing the inside of the cheeks, softening the jaw, letting the back root of the tongue spread into the upper palate of the roof of the mouth, and feeling that relaxation transmit and transfer through the body. Softening the shoulders. And then the last sense of smell, just allowing whatever there might be for you. Can you smell fresh air? Do you notice the smell in your living space? And then relaxing that and coming back to awareness of your whole body now. Feeling the whole body, remembering the shape of your body as it sits in the chair, wherever you are. And then take our last 3 breaths for the practice today, breathing into your whole body, allowing your body to, as you inhale, without strain, to just feel the breath moving into the extremities, fingers and toes, palm of the hand. And as you exhale, drawing the navel back toward the spine, feeling the belly relax. Repeating that and noticing sensations. Noticing thoughts and feelings too, whatever arises, just as this beautiful interplay of the life force moving within you. Nothing to do outside right now. Nowhere to go. Just to notice. And the last feeling that I didn't mention earlier, that I'll mention now, is gratitude. And oftentimes we can really change our whole countenance by having just the most gracious gratitude for all the things that we have opportunity to be in this lifetime, and how much we actually rely on each other and the life force to keep us alive and to generate these beautiful new novel experiences that inform us. So lots of gratitude. And then we're going to gently, remembering where you are in the room, and allowing your awareness to stay with that as you listen to the chime. And then with your hands briskly rubbing the palms together. And this time placing them on the eye beds and just allowing that feeling of grounded presence to really deepen and to be acknowledged as your natural state, actually. And then when you're ready, coming back into the room. All right, team. SCI for Mindfulness for Resilience team. So that was a bit longer today, and I'm curious how that felt doing it a bit longer, and also the different ways that I focused you, if that helped or if that gave you any more ease or what. Let's hear. Tell me what you did. How'd you do? Anybody?
I think it was pretty good, Mary Jo. It's I didn't fall asleep, so I guess that was a bonus.
Yeah. Did you do something to not fall asleep, or was it just the...
There's bright light coming in my window, so I kept noticing that. I think that's probably probably a thing. It's kind of a bit of a distraction. So,
And that's okay. I mean, the distractions that distract us, we notice it's distraction, and then, just watch yourself being distracted. I even just identifying that is perfect.
yeah.
And I think Celia left. I don't know. There it is.
Delene mentioned sleeping. I can say that I've been sleeping a lot better since I've been practicing.
Good. Wow.
Really affected my sleep, improved.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. And you'll notice these subtle differences. Like I think one of the great things that I've learned and done with my own practices is to really note these things, because this is also how the brain expands into this newer kind of novel neuroplastic way of rewiring and refiring and building more neural capacity. So good for you. Getting more sleep is a huge one. Yeah.
I think the tactic for sleeping too that you shared, Mary Jo, when you count back from 27 with your breathing and you start at 27 or whatever, and that's a very helpful tactic actually. And especially if it's not necessarily to just fall asleep, but if I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm having trouble going back to sleep, it's that pause in there. So that was kind of a good one.
Well, that's a good one. If you don't remember that one, basically you just become aware of your breathing, and then you're going to count backwards. Each inhale and exhale is 1. So we go from 27 down to 0. But for most people, they won't make it to 0, because the deep breathing and the conscious breathing actually will relax you prior to you getting to 0 often. So that's another way to really calm a distracted mind. Thanks for that, Delene. Good. Anything else on the attitude, the life-affirming attitudes? I'll actually give you a couple more. Letting go is one of them, which we did. And acceptance, of course, we talked about. So that's really the group of them. And the last one that they talk about in the trainings that I've done anyways is generosity, or allowing yourself to be generous with yourself. And that, I think, is the most important piece of the approach that you could take into your day, is just really allowing yourself to trust yourself and to have that generous attitude of loving kindness and being good to yourself. So it's great to see you here. I won't keep you longer. I will mention that we'll do another one in a couple weeks. And that probably might be, okay, Patty. Barry, are you there?
Who,
Uh,
who are you talking to?
Oh, somebody wants my email address.
Well,
I'll
that's
just,
me. We were gonna do dog training stuff or something.
Yes, Mary Jo, sorry.
okay, could you put in the chat my email address,
Your Gmail account?
please? Yeah.
Sure.
Great. All right. Good. Couple weeks. Very much stay safe. Be really kind to yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks. Really great to see you all here today,
Take care, everybody.
everybody.
Really? Oh, where's the email
Oh,
to be?
fine.
Who
Just
was
wait.
asking for the email again?
Here, I'll just go in there.
Because I can email it to them.
Okay,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Why don't you email it to her?
Is that was that Kimberly or Marian?
no, it's Patty.
Patty. Hi, Patty. Yes, I will email you her email address.
Oh, that'd be great because we're gonna talk dog stuff. How's your dog?
He's actually doing great. Thanks, Patty. Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Good.
Okay, thank you so much. And you know what I was gonna say? I just finished taking a course last year on resilience.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was about 2 months. 2 months,
Yeah.
all kind of sort of different topics, but it's all about building resilience. I suffer from post-traumatic stress
Oh,
myself.
yeah.
Yeah, and I find your classes sort of coincide with things that I'm working on with my psychologist.
Good. Good.
Yeah, so it's kind of good. It's
That's good
reinforced. Yeah.
to hear that.
Okay, thank you so much.
You have a great day.
You too. Take care. Be safe.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have a good one. Thanks again, Mary Jo.